And we are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the next episode of the Mecca of Banter podcast. I am your host this week, Nick. Obviously, you can find me on Twitter at Hafey4. The Premier League season has wrapped up, but honestly, boys, I'm still watching a ton of soccer. It happens every year. I think that it's going to stop, but obviously it does not, and I continue to watch the game that we all love. But we have a spicy episode for you guys today, and I'm going to introduce the lads. I'm going to start it off with my main man, Mr. Hoover. How are we doing over there?
Yeah, all things considered, we're doing pretty good. Let's see, still European champions, regardless of who the manager is or what direction the club is headed in. Funny you said that. We forget that there are a ton of games that continue on after the club season ends, and my girlfriend hates it. Genuinely, was like, "You told me that soccer was over," and I was like, "It is, but it's not actually ever." We always find a way to watch something, whether it's TST. I'm watching Concava at work. I'm probably gonna watch Costa Rica in the World Cup qualifier tomorrow. I name it. I'm just a ball watcher. So happy to be here. Happy to give thoughts on whatever.
Absolutely. I feel like we're all in the same predicament. We're all very much ball watchers, and I have a feeling all of our significant others probably feel the same when it's still consistently on our TV in the living room.
Yeah.
Because I know Claire feels the same. So moving right over to one of the other boys. Henry, how are we doing, my guy?
It's great week to be a Manchester United fan. We're moving, fellas. United is moving in the transfer window.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
We're moving, bro.
But we're moving.
Dude, it's so funny, Hoover. I shared the exact same thing with you with Monica. Yesterday, we were watching like the Nations League final.
Yep, that was the one.
Yeah, Paige was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "It's the Nations League." She's like, "Does it matter?" And I was like, "Well, not really." And she's like, "Then why is Bruno Fernandes on the TV?" And I was like, "Well, because, And she's just like, "God, man, does it ever stop?" It's just so funny,
Monica heard Mbappe come up. She goes, "Not the Ninja Turtle."
Not him. I'm good, fellas. I played a round of golf yesterday with a Spurs fan without knowing it. I walked up in his bag. He had his driver head cover was a Tottenham head cover, and then I said something about it, obviously, and then he showed me his phone, which is the same background that you probably have, Hoover, which is Sonny holding the trophy, with all the guys lifting it. Yeah, precisely that one. That was his background too. Yeah. And I was just like, oh God, it's gonna be a long round, but I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk footy, fellas. Happy to talk footy.
Absolutely. And I have a feeling, Hoover, that's going to be your screen for the next couple decades because
17 years could be 17 years.
You're
gonna have your first child, and you're just gonna like Photoshop your child into
the Europa League trophy. Yeah. Sonny's still holding them up.
Right.
And last but certainly not least, Mr. Sindobri, how are we doing?
What's going on, fellas? It's good to see you, boys. There was a ton of footy that went on this weekend. It was really nice to see, a bunch of the top players in the world continue to play for their countries. Meanwhile, we watch our national team put out the D team. But that goes without saying. We'll get to that later. It is. I'm not going to jinx it, fellas, but United are somewhat cooking. I know that we're not going to talk about it, but I partly love the summer with United just because it feels like we're linked to everybody under the sun at one moment. And we don't have to watch us play week in and week out, which is also like a benefit, right?
Best part.
Bruno Fernandes getting to lift the trophy finally yesterday was awesome. But yeah, it's your boy Dobes. You can find me on Twitter at CDobes10. Yeah, fellas, we're kind of scrounging TST, Nations League. You kind of name it, watching it all. Happy to be here.
Dove's been active on Twitter too recently.
Dude, way active.
I've been seeing him. He's been letting thoughts fly.
United is no longer in 16th, so now he feels like
it's not even about that. It's not even about that. I was tweeting about Alcaraz yesterday in tennis, dude. Like I'll let it fly. I was replying to Jameis Winston, dude. I'll let it fly about anything.
Every once in a while, bro, on like not like the following page, but just like the For You page on Twitter, some random tweet will pop up and it'll just be your account responding to it.
Yeah, dude.
It's like, it's so good. It's again why it's the best social media out there. I stand on that.
I am Jose.
I am Jose. People forget, bro.
Incredible stuff, but as we all have been saying, Premier League season may be over, but we still have a lot of footy to talk about. I do want to start with something that I'm very happy to announce. I'm sorry, Hoover, it comes to your expense. But I think I've said it a couple times on the pod. I think it's the most Spurs thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Ange Postecoglou has been sacked by Tottenham Hotspurs after winning them their only trophy and being European champions. I think we've already kind of touched on this a little bit in previous pods because Hoop kind of had a feeling it could happen. But want to get your take on it, Mr. Hoover. How we feeling over there?
It wasn't even a feeling. It was like, he's gone, period. Like, it was like definitive. He knew it was
I
gone.
was joking about it. Every time I genuinely didn't think they could do it. I didn't think they actually could do it.
I knew they had it the entire time.
I think the thing is, though, is I think Ange was getting too much power in the clubhouse. I think people were rallying around him a lot, and then Levy didn't like that, and so they were like,
and that hurt too.
Yeah,
I mean, you're right. It's Levy, brother. It's Levy. Everything he does.
All the players are coming out and being like, "We fucking love this guy." Like, yeah, dude,
bro. All right, so.
He's like, let's go. Let's talk about it.
I mentally prepared for this, right? Like you go through your rounds. I've seen and done this. He's the fourth manager that in Daniel Levy's tenure to make it 2 years, and he was sacked on his 2-year anniversary. So that's just I mean, classic. You mentally prepare. Like I knew, and I said this. Like you guys were like, how funny it would be if they sacked him and he won the finals. Like it's so on the table, you have no idea. The way that they went about it was the biggest, no question, easiest problem for me in my mind. In my mind, you knew the outcome of this season for Tottenham in February. It was you either win the Europa League or you don't win anything. Like you finish bottom table, you don't win a trophy in Europe. Boom, done. Decision made. Yeah, decision made. Ange is out. Season ends with 0 bang. The season, no one ever wants to talk about this one ever again. Or he does it. And sure enough, he did. But if you knew that you still didn't necessarily want him as the manager, then you let him go to the parade and you announce it the next day. And then you have a backup in place, like ready to go to start the season. They went 2 weeks, didn't say a word. Everyone went on vacation, came back, and they sacked him. So we've missed 2 weeks of pretty valuable player recruitment period. Watching all these other teams start to actually complete moves. I'm looking at Ryan Nuri, who I would have loved at Spurs, take his $36 million transfer to Man City. Like, crazy. These are all done. All of this stuff's done. And we don't have a manager.
It's only you and Arsenal that haven't signed a player so far in the Big Six.
Yeah.
We got to sign a manager first. Like, brother, we don't even have Thomas Frank in position yet. Like, it sounds like that's happening, which is, I mean, given the circumstances, that's fine. Look, he's
besides him, is there anyone that you are like eyeing or that you would want?
I want Xabi. But like that, he's going to ask for too much money. He's going to ask for too much money in the transfer market. He's going to ask for a 3-year, project. The things that would take this club to the next level, Levy's not willing to give to him. So Thomas Frank's fine. He works on a shoestring budget. He overperforms with the amount of weekly wages that he gets for his players. Both things that have just been, absolutely crucial for Daniel Levy. He doesn't win trophies. He gets dropped out of most of the major competitions he's in early. It's perfect. He's checking all of Mr. Levy's boxes. So, no, I think he's a good guy, and I don't have anything against him in any of this. It sucks so much to watch Ange leave. And then I've seen managers get sacked. It happens all the time in my neck of the woods. Almost every single player came out with a post thanking him, just having nothing but grace and kindness and love towards this guy. And you know what? You might be right. I think the players are actually going to revolt. I think Christian Romero's gone.
I was getting ready to ask who you think's going to leave.
Basuma's already having contacts with Galatasaray. I think he's gone. I don't know if Sonny comes back. Frankly, if Sonny takes his $400 million a week contract in Saudi Arabia, I wouldn't blame him for a second. He did it. He's a Tottenham legend. He is more of a Tottenham legend. Hear me out. More of a Tottenham legend than Harry Kane, no question in my mind, without a doubt.
I would hope.
Like, the guy that wins the trophy, he stuck around. He went through the grind. He didn't leave when it was easy or convenient. And he loves Tottenham. He is Mr. Tottenham. So, sidebar. But yeah, man, I mean, it sucks so much. I was texting Scotty Persha and a couple of my other Spurs buddies, fuming, dude, just fuming. Like, have a plan. Run the club like it's supposed to be run. It's not a business. Run it with some inkling of a hope of an idea for a sporting direction. Refuses to do it. Won't ever do it. The longer that he's in this team, he's an absolute parasite. They're never going to amount to anything. He got lucky. This is what happens. You sacrifice the league for him for a tournament. You win the tournament.
That's what I think's crazy. If he finishes sixth, he's got a job.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like
sixth in no Europa.
And and he's got a job, which is insane. Yeah.
I've seen about every type of season end result that I can from a Spurs point of view. You cannot tell me that finishing fourth feels better than finishing 16th with a Europa League trophy in your hands.
100%.
It was fucking awesome. It was the best. It was the most fun I've ever had supporting any soccer team in my life. Like, just wholeheartedly, no question. And then they just ripped it away. Like, you couldn't even let Spurs fans have fun for like 2 weeks until we're back in turmoil. Like, brother.
Dude, it was one of those things. It's like exactly what Hen and I said last year about United. It was after we won the FA Cup. It was like that next day, you should have already thought about, if you win, are you keeping him? Or if you fire him, is he like, fire him? Because then you miss out on talks with players. Who does Thomas Frank want to bring in? Like, you made the Champions League. Now, Levy, set yourself up to compete in the Champions League, dude. You know what I mean?
As someone who's normally good with business, that was awful business move on his part.
It's mental.
I even think, like, let him go on the open bus tour. Let him 2 days later, whatever it was, the next day, 2 days later, let him go and do that. Let him feel the...
Or even just tell him and still let him do that. You know what I mean? Like, have a plan in place.
You run the risk of him not showing up to that if you tell him before, but, like, don't send him on vacation. I mean, we did that with De Gea a couple of years ago, where we're like, we're going to renew you. We're going to renew you. We're going to renew you. He went on vacation, and then we're like, just kidding. See ya, you're no longer part of Manchester United. And it's brutal. It sucks. But yeah, I also, bro, I don't know if you talked about this on the podcast last week. What the fuck is going on, like, in Spurs' front office right now? There's all of this, like, stuff coming out right now.
Supposedly the CEO was pushed out. She did not step down. She was Levy's right-hand man. And then I guess Scott Munn is another high-up board member who's also about to be pushed out from the board. Apparently, Mr. Joe Lewis's daughter, who is now running the family trust that owns the majority of Hotspur, apparently she fucking hates Levy, which is the best. So there's active movement, I believe, from rumors and text threads of people that I don't know in England that have no relation to anything. That's kind of the conversation now, is that there's a huge shakeup front office wise, which I'll sacrifice next year if we get rid of Daniel Levy. Like, if that's what has to happen, I could care less what happens. Because there's going to be some sort of ambition after that. Like, there's going to be an objective and some drive and, on-field quality and success. But, yeah. I mean, dude, apparently he's already being scouted by other Premier League teams. How funny would it be if he went to Brentford? Like, straight up, it would make a lot of sense. Like, there's a lot of people that are after his signature, too, which, why wouldn't you want? Like, everyone knows what a manager has to work with at Tottenham. It's the least attractive job in the world because of who you have to work with, and he found success. It's first time in 17 years, first time of the European trophy in 50. Like, that's a guy you want. He's a genuine serial winner. He did what Mourinho, Conte, Pochettino, like, none of those guys could do. So that's a huge testament to him and his values in the game. So I love him. I love him to death. He's a legend. I'll never, ever, ever forget what he brought to North London. But yeah, it all just kind of sucks. It's a nice slap in the face and drop the reality.
I hope he goes to a Premier League team so that whenever they play at Tottenham next year, he just gets a standing ovation from everyone.
Oh my God, they're gonna sing his name throughout the entire 90.
Yeah,
just to
I almost feel bad
slap
for
Levy in the face.
Thomas Frank, man. Like,
Yeah.
because I genuinely think he's an awesome, and I think truthfully, like, I don't know if the names like Xavi maybe, but like I think Thomas Frank is an all around great manager. It's just the same thing we've talked about. It's the same thing we've talked about multiple times. Is he going to get what he needs to be? You know what I mean? It's just one of those.
Yeah.
It's manager after manager after manager doesn't make them bad managers because they leave Tottenham. You know.
Yep.
I think, though, this is a great time to transition into a club that I think he actually should go to, which is St. Louis City.
Could you imagine?
Boy, that would be fun.
You want to talk about Lutz's front foot on the attack fun football, brother? I've got a guy for you, and he goes by Postecoglou.
Dude, Jake Girdwood-Reich would start every minute of every game.
Oh my God! Don't start, dude. Don't start, dude. He's so bad. He's so bad.
I was gonna say, I do think Ange might bring a little bit more life to what we saw over the weekend, which is another shocking performance from St. Louis City as we lose to Portland Timbers 2-1. A late extra time goal for the Timbers takes the 3 points to them and leaves us with nothing. Boys, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna offer a really different stroke on this one, just because I know the general consensus. I thought for 65 minutes we were good.
We were
genuinely
good.
like
everything but a goal. Everything but a goal.
But that's the thing, and like I mean, there was a couple of times, I forgot if it was in the first half or early in the second half, where we put on, I think, like 9 shots in a row. Like, they could not get out of their defensive half. It was better, like, that first 65. And, like, we had injuries. We were without a couple of guys. Like, that is all true. That is all the things. But this Critch offense is so different, man. We're actually using wingbacks. We're using wingers. We're dangerous. We're high pressing again. You can see the progression, and it goes back to the 65-minute mark. We make some subs, and we don't have the depth. We We have really lazy defending on the back post for their second goal, especially. I don't know what's going on with Silva. Like, he seems to be such an odd fit on this team. I don't know if he fits
McSorley wide open.
Yeah, so there's a selfishness, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Silva's like, he's a dancer. He's like Celio. He dances on the ball. It's super fun, but it's like it's not all the way there between the ears. I'm not sure. I don't really know what to say about that. But like, we looked better as a whole. We are not 100%. A good team, period. We are not a good team, period. And we looked better through 60 minutes than we've looked in a while. And I think Critch can keep building. I don't know if he'll get the permanent position. I would say he's the odds-on favorite at the moment to get the permanent position, just because I think they look backwards and they say we should have hired John Hackworth. And so I think that there's a little bit of remorse that the front office will have not hiring the interim manager. So I would say that he's the odds-on favorite for getting the full position, but we still have a huge transfer window coming up here in just a couple of weeks, and we'll see what we do. Blom's coming back, so you never know what's going to happen there. But yeah, obviously we lost, and we're not a good team, period. We kind of suck, but I thought we were better for 65 minutes.
Dude, 7 big chances, 2.57 XG. XG is not everything, but if you watched this game, it absolutely was everything.
We should have scored.
The opportunities that we missed were insane.
Well, that Klaus sitter from like 8 yards out in the middle of the box, the half volley, like
and then Arnold pushed it 5 feet wide on his follow-up shot. Like, dude, that was a, if we're going to pay you money, you need to score type goal, brother. Like, we're never going to have a 15-goal scoring striker, in my mind. Like, he's great if he's not the 9, if he's not the hold-up guy, which I think he is, but it doesn't produce results in goals sometimes. Like, if you're going to drop in and let Betcher slide underneath you or vice versa, like, it's just not, I don't know what it is for him. I feel for him because I think we obviously all want him to succeed, and I don't think anyone wants to succeed more than him. Yeah. It's just not going. And, like, dude, we've said this so many times, but this team shouldn't depend on Edward Lowen playing every week, but we do.
Yeah.
Like Morales and Watts, all credit to Watts, he scored a goal, but I don't think by any means he was dazzling. He contributed very well in the build up to the goal, which we were texting like, "Yo, that was something different."
Disgusting.
That was something. The minute and a half, 90-second sequence leading up to the goal in our corner. Triangle, nutmeg from Hartle, back out wide, slide a guy out front. We're in. Like, it was that we hadn't seen anything like that with Olaf.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for that. I also think that Critch is standing by his principles of he's not playing guys that he does not want to play. There have been guys that have not seen the field underneath him. Oshuk saw the field for 3 minutes last night, and Yarrow and Hebert still haven't seen the field. I think he's also just coming in and making decisions on who he feels is good enough, and I appreciate that. Zielinski, bro. Zielinski's cameo last night for 10, 12 minutes, whatever it was, awesome. Huge defensive tackles, putting in the shift. And Tottenham wasn't bad at all. It's just he's still recovering. He's still getting into fitness. So at that 70-minute mark, he needed to come off. He was getting cooked by his winger, number 11 or whoever.
Anthony was. Look, that first goal he scored, brother. That first goal he scored was disgusting.
Think about.
Yeah,
but Zielinski, man, obviously he scored the goal in the Open Cup. Yeah, he scored the goal in the Open Cup a couple of weeks ago, but I was just like, whatever. Like, he hit it cleanly, nice. But last night, I was super impressed with his game. I think he's going to give Tottenham a run for his money. Like, whenever they're both back to full fitness, I think they're both solid.
You know what all the best teams in the world have? Competition amongst the squad, brother. Give me more of those guys.
I'm gonna keep saying it about this group, but every time I watch them, there's just no big personalities besides Roman Berkey, and he's oftentimes 80 yards, 90 yards away from everything that's going on. It's just we go up a goal, and good teams, great teams, keep the pedal on the metal, go find a way to get a second. Because Portland had almost nothing up to the point we scored, and then the moment we scored, the game flipped.
Yep.
It was like we played timid. We allowed Portland to keep possession, keep the ball more. And then there was that 15, 20-minute spell where you could just see Portland after, like, they put their foot on the gas and just went. And we had nothing for it. There's no personalities to steady the ship. Kessler made probably one of the few mistakes that we've seen him make this year and should have stepped on that Anthony, even though it was a great turn. If you step and force him wide, they'll allow him to shoot. You could prevent that goal.
In that position, you can't work. You can't assume that he's going to make a pass. Like, you've got to get to him. Like, if he makes the pass, he makes the pass.
Dead sprint, slide out, force him wide, and make him cross the ball, and trust your defenders to recover. But it's just like we said. There's no personalities, right? It's everybody's heads went down, and you almost knew that once Portland tied it, they were going to get a second. Like, you just we did not have anything after that point.
Well, on the bright side, boys, we do in our next game on Saturday play a side with less points than us, which is shocking because
not confident. Still not confident.
I feel way better about that. They're terrible.
Yes, they only have 7 points this season. We play LA Galaxy on Saturday. So hopefully we can get somewhat of a result. I'm also hoping it's a little confidence booster, but it could quite literally be the opposite. Who knows?
If you're in town on Friday, too, make sure to stop by Napoli on Friday night. You can catch a glimpse of Marco Royce and his best friend, Roman Berkey, having a dinner and a cocktail. I can almost guarantee you that they will be there. So, pro tip.
Yeah, that's a great shout. From one miserable team to the next, don't we just
We're so back. I love this stupid sport.
I know. The U.S. men's national team was in action with another Spurs manager who's been sacked and Chelsea manager who's been sacked, Mr. Pochettino. We lose to Turkey 2-1. And boy, before we even get into it, what a lineup. I'm genuinely, it's funny, Dobes. I know you probably have a little rant for us. I think I might have played against our striker in college. I'm not sure, but like the lineup is quite interesting.
If you guys want to talk about the game, you can real quick because I don't really have much to say about the game, to be honest with you.
The thing that bugs me is I think we have so much things that we need to figure out in our team and in our side come World Cup. And the fact that we are wasting these games with lineups that we will not be seeing in the World Cup kind of irks me, because I think like we're still very young, and like I don't know if this is where, I mean, Dobes may have this part of the rant, but like I don't know if it's Poach, like is Poach picking this entire side and this roster before the game, or is it the U.S. men's national team as a whole that's like, hey, Poach, this is the group of guys that you're going to have for this game? But like I don't understand the selection, because we have so much things that we need to work on and figure out as a collective unit for the men's national team. And I think these are the types of games we need to be figuring those things out and building confidence, and we're not able to.
I'm going to give you guys a number. I'm going to give you guys a number here. Somebody guess what this number is. 366. Somebody guess what that number is.
Until we start the World Cup?
That is days until we start the World Cup.
Yeah.
That is guess how many competitive games that our best 11 is going to play before then? 0. 0. Our best 11 is going to play 0 competitive games. 0. Before we get to the World Cup. We just watched yesterday, fellas. We just watched 2 of the best teams in the world go 120 minutes with their best 11, bar maybe Rodri because he's injured. A 40-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo who doesn't need to be playing. A Bruno Fernandes who's played 50-something games who doesn't need to be playing. A Lamine Yamal who's 17 years old who played over 40 games this year who probably shouldn't be playing. In a tournament that we can all admit doesn't mean a lot to us. And then we got real grown men crying after they win. And as much as I want to make fun of Ronaldo, I think I would kill for the U.S. men's national team to have that same attitude.
100%.
Like, this team is going to go nowhere until we turn from the national team being a choice to a privilege. Because Landon Donovan's comments, for those that listen, he kind of gave Pulisic trouble afterwards for not being there. I don't think he necessarily should have called him out by name. But the fact of the matter is fellas, name our best 11. I have no idea. I don't know who our front 3 is. Tyler Adams, Wes maybe, Musa maybe. Like, who's our 2 center backs? Like, you'd think Serginho Dest, you'd think Jedi, but do you know?
Yeah.
Like, we're just expecting that in 366 days from Monday today, the 9th, that this team is going to be able to show up. And what is, by the way, it's going to be the biggest spectacle that the United States has ever seen. Biggest sporting spectacle ever that this country has seen thus far. And we are nothing but prepared for absolute embarrassment. Like, absolute embarrassment. I get it. You're tired. I get it. Mental health's important. I understand it. You don't think that every single one of the players that's played in the Nations League, or the guys that are playing in the World Cup qualifying, aren't tired? That have played more minutes, more games, bigger games than you have? And we got guys that are just choosing to skip. And not only that, but the problem with this generation is then you have Christian Pulisic's dad. Captain America's dad coming out to defend him on social media. Like, what are we doing?
It's hilarious.
ChatGPT station. Like, what are we doing? Like, seriously,
that's some high school. You dealt with more of that in Lafayette than anything.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. We got girls and guys skipping big games for spring break. It's the generation. It's just the generation. It's the fact of the matter. It's how can you expect a group of players to come together when you have your top leaders choosing to skip when it's hard? You listen to Clint Dempsey say he came back from a serious injury and his first game was in the snow.
The Snow
Classic. It was his first game back from injury. You think he cared? No, because he cared about winning the fucking badge. We have too many guys who, I don't know if you guys saw, Men in Blazers came out with an interview today with Tyler Adams. And Tyler Adams did his politically correct, said that Pulisic played a lot of games this year and so on and so forth. But then he caveated it with saying, there's an attitude problem. There's a culture problem and it needs to change.
Yeah.
That Pochettino said that camp isn't for nice dinners. It's not for golf. It's not for all these things that it's for. You're trying to learn how to win. And we're hosting a World Cup in 366 days, and we're set up for nothing and embarrassment. And we're going to see, credit to Tyler Adams, even though he's not going to play against I forget who we play next game. He's not going to play next game. Switzerland to be ready for the Gold Cup. But it's like, these are the games where you a year out, start to build something, find ways to win difficult games in real competitions. Like we just watched Spain and Portugal go toe to toe. You think in a year's time from now that those two teams aren't going to be ready to go to 120 minutes and then go to pens and win? Like
they've been there. They've
been there. They've done it. It's like every single sport you see. It's like the teams that get hot that have been in those playoff situations, they've been there. They've done it. They don't have to turn a switch. The U.S. men's national team isn't going to show up in a locker room and turn that light onto the locker room and be like, we can go out and beat a big team. Because I watched both of those teams play yesterday, and I think we get 5-6-0'd by both of them.
100%.
By both of them. And you got the other thing about it is, who are the big personalities in this group? Tim Ream is like, is he going to be there? Is he not going to be there?
I'm hoping Tyler continues with the attitude that he has and starts continuing to stay.
And I love Tyler. Credit to him for going. He came off a serious injury, finally got back to Bournemouth. If there's anybody that would have an excuse to come back fully healthy with the Prem, I would have given it to him. And Jedi, of course, because Jedi just had surgery, but like Musa, West, Pulisic, like what the fuck are we doing, fellas?
Yeah.
Like show up. Show up.
Yeah, and also we know, like, no, I don't want to discredit the boys who are out there because I have a feeling that like there's so many other people that play soccer in the US that would kill to play that amount of games. So like I agree with you, Dove. I think you hit it right on the head. It's this whole entire generation of having excuses and being backed by people who also have those same excuses. I think it's quite interesting. But I do think you hit on it a lot. I don't really honestly want to talk about the U.S. men's national team much anymore.
I think the last point that I want to make that I think the changing in the generations is when we grew up and we were younger, it was the U.S. men's national team trying to prove itself, right? It was Dempsey's, it was Donovan's, it was guys playing in the MLS, your Michael Bradley's. It was guys that played against big teams with a chip on their shoulder, right? Yeah. And now we have guys that are playing in Europe, and they think that that's just going to instantly translate to the national team better. We can have all the talent in the world, like we want, fellas. But like until you learn to like play with pride, like, and it means something, like we're just gonna be talent. Like there's so many teams that are talented, right? Like, but talent's not going to win us a World Cup, right? Like that's the ultimate goal. Talent's not going to get us out of the group stages, and we're just going to expect to turn it on like that. I don't know. I grew up obviously a United fan, but I like when I was a little kid, 5 and 6 years old, I wasn't picturing myself playing for United. I was picturing myself being Brian McBride playing for the national team.
Yeah.
Like that was the dream. And it just seems like now it's how fast can we get to Europe? And then it's club over country right now, fellas. And I think you ask it, any of those guys that played the Nations League final yesterday, it's the opposite. It's country over club 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. And I also think you're spot on that like Spain and Portugal are now so set up for success in the World Cup because
they've done it. They've showed they can win. They're putting themselves in situations that they're going to see in the future. So when they see them, they understand and they've been there before.
I think before we even go on to, I'm going to need to see something out of Pochettino and the group that he picks for the Gold Cup.
I will say that one. Yeah, I agree 1,000%.
The last 1,000%. Few competitive games we do have is our own nation's, call it the Euro, call it the, Copa America, call it whatever you want, but that's CONCACAF's tournament. We've got to win that, or at least go toe-to-toe with Mexico in the final. Like, there's zero excuse with the pool that we have these days for us to not take, honestly, an MLS side and go very far in this tournament. Like, it was the expectation to see Mexico and win every single time I've watched them play this tournament. So if that doesn't happen, I'm asking questions. Like,
we're forgetting this group finished 4th in the Nations League last year.
Yeah, lost to Panama.
Lost to Panama. Lost to Canada. Lost to Jesse Marsh a year ago.
Yeah, not looking great.
No, they got to turn it around. And that's on everybody. That's on Pochettino.
I think
that's on the squad. Yeah.
Yeah. But I also I have a feeling that I'm hoping that it's not really Poach making a lot of the roster construction.
It has to be.
I mean, I know he has an impact, but I guarantee you there's a lot of politics that come into it.
I think the caveat is there's a few players that, like the best player in the field in yesterday's game, Nuno Mendes, like he's going to the Club World Cup. Like he's going to the Club World Cup with PSG. So you want to sit here and tell me, like, I get that the competition ended beforehand, but like I get that Wes and Weah are going to the Club World Cup, but at the same time, fellas, it's like it's real competition, but you know what I mean? It's just like
you're spot on with their picking club over country, right?
They are, and I get it because their club pays the bills and so on and so forth. But it's just like it's a shitty spot to be as a U.S. men's national team fan.
Right.
Yeah,
Tyler Adams has done everything that I've ever needed to see a badge. He's got the band for the foreseeable future. He had the band at the World Cup. He's 22, 23.
Yeah.
That's our captain for the rest of the days. Captain America is not a captain.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. No, I agree. But moving on to the actually very entertaining international tie, which was the Nations League final between Portugal and Spain. And this one went to penalties. I don't know if you guys caught this game, but boy, was it spicy. The 40-year-old Ronaldo did find the net to equalize late. I was shocked by them not pulling him when they did. Like, I thought they were like waiting. I thought it was a halftime sub.
I think part of it is that Ramos has been asked too.
Yeah,
that does help his case.
You're not wrong.
Dude, you told me a week ago. I didn't know that the UEFA Nations League was happening a week ago. Like we've talked about. The Nations League, yes, I saw Christian Pulisic lift it over Canada, and that was super cool when we were watching the alternate version a couple years back. But, like, genuinely, this tournament doesn't mean much to me at all, and I don't know if it really means much to anybody. But like Dope said, like, these guys got up for it. Yeah. There was no question that they were both doing everything they could to try and win. And I'm shocked Portugal won. I put a whole lot of money on Spain.
Yeah.
I also, and this may be a hot take from you guys or from me, but I really do think Lamine Yamal's comments in the media of late kind of brought a little hype around some of these games.
Yeah.
Like him pretty much being like,
he's a shit disturber, man.
He is.
Yeah, he's a shit disturber.
He's got a little like, and once again, I know it's kind of the theme of this episode, but like I think it's this generation of like they got that shit disturber,
and he's a fucking dog. So
honestly, that was gonna be the next thing I was gonna say. Is like once again in this game, I know they didn't win, but boy, is he so fun to watch. Like anytime he's on the ball, I am on the edge of my seat.
The jokes that were like Real Madrid fans have no idea how easy it was to deal with Messi and then him just running that generation over Real Madrid because he has zero bone in his body that makes him want to talk shit or trash talk or get in front of the media because that's just not that guy.
It's called being on the spectrum, man.
Exactly. They're in for a 15 years of hurt if Lamine Yamal is going to continue to do what he's doing and talk that shit, dude. They are not ready for him.
Yeah, the fact that he's 17.
The players just in this game, like it's just a different level, man. Like I mentioned him before, but like
in this game,
dude, I was so, and we've talked about it in the Mecca group message, but like, dude, Nuno Mendes in a game full of superstars all over the field, he was by far the best player on the field.
Yeah,
man. Like he was outrageous from not only defensively, it was like he scored. He created the second goal. He was hitting 60-yard pings on a dime. He was defensively sound against Lamine Yamal. Like he was phenomenal. And to be fair, like Ronaldo over the last two games that I've watched him was, and I think we said this, was better than he was last year, at least.
True, 100%.
I think he's finally dipped his ego and dropped it off and been like, all right, I'm just going to fit this role and play to try to get goals. And I think it's working for him a little.
I think he's still a bitch.
Somebody has to come, in my opinion. They need Ramos or whoever it's going to be, Jota, and I doubt it's either them, to come in and just score like 40 goals in a season. And then come in and score a shit ton for Portugal in order for him to not play in that team. Like in order for him to not play in the team.
His contribution outside of the box was way more than we watched last year.
Dude, he stuck Yamal twice in his defensive third, like right outside the box.
He held up really, really well compared to. I mean, all of this is just it was the Euro last summer, right? Where the controversy and that, was he going to get benched? Was he not? And he was asked the entire tournament. 2 penalties probably, but like he was different, and like I'm more than happy to credit the guy for it. It's in a world of Ronaldo versus Messi and everyone picking sides, I do think we should be grateful that he is still doing what he's doing, because Messi is too. Like Messi didn't even start their qualifier again in Argentina last week, but he came on for 30 minutes and balled. Like it's just appreciate it while you got it.
Both of them still playing in the U.S. next year would be unbelievable.
So sick.
Like, even if they're not top level, it's just like them being there makes the spectacle. And it's without a doubt, both of their last one. Like, it's without a, you know what I mean? Like,
and you're not gonna, like, despite whatever role that they might have on that team, you're not leaving them at home.
Yeah.
But, hell no, you are not leaving. You're telling me 75th minute you need a goal for Portugal or Argentina, and either of them come in, shit's getting different. Like it's just they still got it. They don't have the longevity, but they've still got it.
I don't know if you guys, and this is like a hot take that I've kind of seen all over Twitter, but like obviously Vitinha winning two trophies in 2 weeks in the same stadium is insane. But like if you look at it, like he won League One, he won Coupe de France, he won the Champions League, and he won the Nations League. Like he is getting shouts for the Ballon d'Or. Like he's 100% getting shouts. I don't think midfielders never ever will should. But I think he's probably been the best midfielder in the world for the past.
I think so too.
For the past 4 or 5 months, if not longer.
And Dobes, you called Nuno Mendes the best left back in the world yesterday, and I'm not against it at all. Like it was like there were a couple games.
But he's 22.
He's 22.
He's 22.
He's been playing for PSG, and I think everyone knows his name. But watching him towards the tail end of their Champions League run, I was texting the group multiple times, like this dude, we've known who he is. He's been around, but like it has been different gravy, and it's getting better. Like he plateaued this game. Like he was on the rise and rocketing up in stardom from the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Like it's just an unprecedented run for him and Vitinha. Vitinha did the exact same thing, dude.
Yeah, I think we got to witness 2 of the best left backs in the world.
Oh my God. Cucurella, get the fuck out of here, dude. I saw a tweet too. Someone was like, they were like, I have no idea. Like, does anyone know why they're booing Cucurella? Like, I genuinely doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, keep it up.
It's screwed by everyone because they just don't like him.
I don't know what it is. I don't like him either, but he's good. I'll give him that. He had this was his best year, I think, too. Like, comparative to previous years.
Oh, 100% was his best year. He saved us many times.
I watched him.
There's all these past tweets of it being like Ole's main target for left back is 17-year-old Nuno Mendes from all over the place, dude. It's just like Bergvall. Like
good.
Yeah, they're like all over. Yeah.
It's the same thing. Spurs were linked with Desi Dure for a hot minute too.
Yeah, everybody's like Ole's talent ID is unmatched between Holland and Nuno Mendes. And...
Bring him back. On that cue, I will say I also thought Bruno Fernandes putting in a fucking 120-minute shift is very impressive.
Different.
I think you can call him a rat and you can call him a twat, because I think both are true.
He is both.
You cannot deny the football ability out of Bruno Fernandes. I will eat those words. I've never thought he was bad. He was the only thing you guys had this year. You would have maybe been relegated.
And there's fans that wanted him to leave.
Which is crazy.
That's insane.
They say he doesn't fit the system. Then he goes for Portugal and one of the best midfields in the world and plays like a deep lying playmaker. It's like get fucked.
Flexible. He's flexible. He can do most of it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, but I to end it, I will agree with Dobes. I think this was a fresh air after watching the U.S. men's national team play and the lack of energy, and then to turn this on and just absolute incredible match of footy, 120 minutes toe to toe between 2 of the best nations at the moment, and guys who just gave a shit. And you could see in the celebrations, obviously Ronaldo his emotion.
Ronaldo's playing it up for the cameras a little
Yes,
bit. Let's be
100%.
real.
Bro,
That
he
man.
did the exact same thing that Messi did when he won the World Cup. The fucking knee drop, arms out. Everybody was like, he knew where the cameras are. He had
it noted. He knew what he was doing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, to be fair, fellas, I mean, there's still all week this week is World Cup qualifying.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, brother. I'm all in on Costa Rica. I am following them heavy. I love those boys. Up the Ticos.
When does what's his name make his Brazilian coaching debut? Oh, tomorrow, Paraguay. Yeah, there's.
I
will be watching that because Chelsea's got some youngsters on that Brazilian side.
There's enough for us to get by with.
Oh, absolutely.
Club World Cup's next week. I don't even know what to expect of the Club World Cup at all.
Hey,
I'll probably watch some.
Lutz announcing. Lutz commentating.
We maybe need to. We'll circle back to that next week. Dude. I've decided there might be some issues on that one.
Next week's episode, I still think will be very much spicy, and maybe, just maybe, we will get you guys that Premier League starting 11 end of this.
One of these weeks, we're gonna get that over.
I texted Hoof and Hen. We should just do a World 11 at this point. Like this past year, best 11 in the world.
Yeah, Dude, maybe that's something we do.
You're telling me I'm not gonna watch Chelsea play LAFC?
Oh yeah,
like I'm so in on that, brother. Who does Inter Miami plays Al Hilal first, and then
dude, Al Hilal is throwing bags at everyone to try to get them in before the Club World Cup.
Yes. Inter Miami plays Porto. Seattle Sounders against Atletico Madrid. I will be tuning into that, bro.
Al Hilal offered Osimhen like $875,000 a week to try to get him, and he turned it down
because Saudi clubs are so like they want to make a statement and like
Al Hilal
any money to
Al
make.
Hilal, I got a winger for you that loves money, my friend. His name is Jadon Sancho. Come on in, fellas.
Hey, I'm glad like I said before, hey, he's no longer at Chelsea, so I can officially say that I've hated him.
Bayern versus Boca Juniors. They're like fantasy football matchups. This is just hysterical.
Should we make a bet that I don't think an MLS team wins a game?
Oh, you think?
Who beats who?
Well, Seattle's not beating PSG.
Brother,
let me look at the table.
Go look at Al Hilal's lineup and then tell me they're going to beat Inter Miami.
All right. I lied to you. It was not Al Hilal. It was Al Ali SC out of Egypt. Okay, so maybe. I'm thinking Inter Miami's beating this Egyptian team. I think Inter Miami maybe has an okay chance of taking on Palmeiras, but probably not. Seattle Sounders is in a group with Botafogo, Atletico Madrid, and PSG. They are going to get shit pumped. that is just the answer. Who's this team? LAFC will play a Tunisian team. I'm backing us on that one. This is sign me up, dude. Whatever. We got football on during the day. I'll be watching.
Dude, there was rumors of.
Absolutely hate to hear that.
There was rumors
Madrid will play Al Hilal, so
there was rumors of Al Hilal trying to sign Ronaldo because his contract's up at Al Nassr just so he can play in the Club World Cup.
Just so he can play in the Club World Cup. Yep. Wow.
And then we got freaking Man City with Ryan Cherokee, Ant Nuri, and
I hate those guys.
Still not off the hook for their financial fair play either. Who knows where?
I mean, but we'll get into it. But getting Reinders and Cherokee and Ant Nuri for less than Liverpool's going to pay for Wirtz is pretty fucked.
It's a woozy. It's a wazi. Yeah. It's Fugazi. It is not fucking real. Those charges. So.
Yeah. Well, that may be it for this episode, but as you can tell, we have plenty of footy to be talking about in the near future. As always, follow us on all the socials, TikTok, X, Twitter, Instagram. We'll be posting there. And you know what? Drop some comments. I absolutely love when people comment and give us some advice, give us feedback. We obviously love to take it. We are all coachable here. As always, cheers to you boys. And that's it.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Cheers, boys.